Hello, my dear all students. Welcome back to our channel Gyan Manji Online Education. I hope you all are fine and safe at your home. So, my dear all students, today onwards we will complete our remaining portion of Unit 6, My Childhood, which is the autobiography of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Okay, so in our last lecture, we saw that when he was on in fifth standard at at Rameshwaram Elementary School, a new teacher came to our class. I used to wear cap which marked me as a Muslim. Of course, APJ Abdul Kalam, he was habituated. Used to wear that cap which was marked, which represent that he is Muslim. And I always sat in front row next to Ramanatha Shastri, who wore the sacred thread. The new teacher couldn't stomach a Hindu priest's son sitting with a Muslim boy. In accordance with our social ranking, as the new teacher saw it, I was asked to go and sit on the back bench. I felt very sad, and so did Ramanatha Sastri. He looked utterly downcast as I shifted to my seat in the low row. The image of him whipping when I shifted to the last row left a lasting impression on me. So, what happened with APJ Abdul Kalam when he was very little boy, when he was studying in fifth standard? So he used to wear that cap which represented him as a Muslim boy, and his Brahmin friend Ramanatha Shastri, they both were sitting together. So his new teacher, he didn't like it. So what did he do? So he just uh, asked asked APJ Abdul Kalam to go and sit on the back bench. So, of course, he felt very sad, and so did Ramanatha Sastri. Both felt very sad. He looked utterly downcast as I shifted to my seat in the last row. The image of him whipping when I shifted to the last row left a lasting impression on me. So both were very sad. Of course, Kalam was sad because he was shifted, but his friend, Brahmin friend, was also feeling very sad because he was not believing in that kind of casteism. After school, we went home and told our respective parents about the incident. Lakshman Shastri summoned the teacher and, in our presence, told the teacher that he should not spread the poison of social inequality and communal intolerance in the minds of innocent children. Yes, that is very good thing. So after school, they both went to their home. So what did they do? They just talked to with their parents that what happened with them. So they explained the incident. So Lakshman Shastri, who was the father of APJ Abdul Kalam's friend, he just summoned the teacher, met the teacher, and uh, their presence were there. Kalam and his friends' presence were there, um, and Lakshman Shastri, he just told the teacher that he should not spread the poison of social inequality. Means he should not follow that casteism, and all are equal. So he has to follow it, and he must believe in it. So that kind of poison he should not spread in those children who are very innocent. He bluntly asked the teacher to either apologize or quit the school and the Iceland. Not only did the teacher regret his behavior, but the strong sense of conviction Lakshman Shastri conveyed ultimately reformed this young teacher. So here we can see two kinds of people who is believing in casteism and the other one who is that is Lakshman Shastri. He is not believing in casteism. So he just tried to convince with the teacher, and what did he say? That social inequality and communal intolerance in the minds of innocent children. So he bluntly asked the teacher. So he asked teacher to either apologize or quit the school. If he want to do the job there, so he should apologize for it, whatever he did. That kind of inequality, whatever he believed, whatever he just did with Kala. Otherwise, quit the school or Iceland. So, not only teacher were regret, but his behavior was also. But the strong sense of conviction Lakshman Shastri conveyed ultimately reform this young teacher. So here we can see the very beautiful picture the teacher is teaching and all the students are studying together. Not just one caste is studying, but Hindu, Muslim, or we can say Brahmin with Muslim boy, both are studying together. So that is the very good thing. And all are studying happily. So that boy who is having cap on his hair, so that is Kalam. I always sat in the front row next to Ramanatha Shastri. So he used to sit in front of Ramanatha Shastri. Both were friends. On the whole, the small society of Rameshwaram was very rigid in terms of the segregation of different social groups. However, my science teacher Shiv Subramanya Iyer, through an orthodox Brahmin with a very conversation conservative wife, was something of a rebel. He did his best to break social barriers so that people from varying backgrounds could mingle easily. He used to spend hours with me and would say, Kalam, I want you to develop so that you are on par with the highly educated people of the big cities. So, on the whole, the society of Rameshwaram, it was very rigid in terms of segregation of different social groups. So in Rameshwaram, the society was of very different social groups. However, my science teacher, so his Kalam's science teacher, what was his name? So Shiv Subramanya Iyer, through an orthodox, which kind of orthodox? Brahmin with a very conservative wife, was something of a rebel. He did his best to break social barriers. So many things he did to break that social barriers so that people from varying backgrounds could mingle easily. So he used to spend hours with me and would say, so they both spent time with each other and he said, Kalam, I want you to develop so that you are on par with the highly educated. So that teacher just thought that which kind of boy he was, Kalam was, because he was very curious to know anything, to know about anything. So he thought that if he will be educated of the big cities and if he will get more education so that the highly educated people of the big cities so he could go there and get education. One day, he invited me to his home for a meal. His wife was horrified at the idea of a Muslim boy being invited to dine in her ritually pure kitchen. So, which kind of thinking was there about a Muslim boy? So, one day, his science teacher, he just invited Kalam to his home for a meal. His wife, his science teacher's wife, she was very horrified. Which kind of idea he had that a Muslim boy is coming to his home, to her home for meal. She refused to serve me in her kitchen. Shiv Subramanya Iyer was not perturbed, nor did he get angry, nor he did nor did he get angry with his wife, but instead served me with his own hands and sat down beside me to eat his meal. So what did he do? So Shiv Subramanya Iyer's wife denied to serve Kalam. So his teacher didn't get angry with his wife, but instead of getting angry, he served Kalam with his own hands and sat down beside him to eat his own meal. His wife watched us from behind the kitchen door. I wondered whether she had observed any difference in the way I ate rice, drank water, or cleaned the floor after the meal. When I was leaving his house, Shiv Subramanya Iyer invited me to join him for dinner again the next weekend. Observing my hesitation, he told me not to get upset, saying, once you decide to change the system, such problems have to be confronted. So, here what happened with him? So, his wife, his teacher's wife, was observing Kalam from the behind of the kitchen. So, Kalam was wondered whether that she had observed him very different way, that he ate rice, drank water, or cleaned the floor after taking the meal. So when he was just leaving his house, Shiv Subramanya Iyer again invited him to join him dinner again the at the very next weekend. So he felt very hesitation. Kalam felt hesitation because he knew that his teacher's wife had objection about it. So that's why. But here his teacher told him that not no need to get upset, and he says once you decide to change the system, such problems have to be confronted. When I visited his house the very next week, Shiv Subramanya Iyer's wife took me inside her kitchen and served me food with her own hands. So, after a week, when he went to his teacher's home for taking dinner on that time, so this time his teacher's wife served him with her own hands, and she just took him inside her kitchen and then served him food with her own hands. So that is very good thing. Then the Second World War was over and India's freedom was immediate. Indians will build their own India, declared Gandhiji. So what did Gandhiji declare? So Gandhiji declared that Indians will build their own India. So there was the Second World War over after completion of the Second World War. The whole country was filled with an unprecedented optimism. I asked my father for permission to leave Rameshwaram and study at the district headquarters in Ramnathpuram. So it is time to study further. So he just went to his father and tried to convince, and he wanted permission to leave Rameshwaram and he wanted to study at the district headquarters in Ramnathpura. Right, so here we have the picture. Shiva Subramanya Iyer's wife took me inside her kitchen and served me food. So before that, she denied to serve him, but when he went to the next time, very second time, for taking dinner on that time, she served him with her own hand. So here he told me as if thinking aloud, Abdul, I know you have to go away to grow. Does the sickle not fly across the sun, alone and without a nest? He quoted Khalil Gibran to my hesitant mother. Your children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself. They come through you, but not from you. You may give them your love, but not your thoughts, for they have their own thoughts. So, here, his father had very good thoughts, we can say here. He told me as if thinking aloud. So, what did he think? That Abdul, I know you have to go away to grow. If you want to grow, then you have to go away from here. So, does the seagull not fly across the sun alone and without a nest? Yes, it can. He quoted Khalil Gibran to my hesitant mother because his mother was hesitate. So what again he added, your children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself. They are children, but your children are not your children. So why? So they come through you, but not from you. You may give them your love, but not your thoughts. So we can love them, but we can't give them our own words. So he just tried to convince, for they have their own thoughts. So that is very good thing. We can say whatever Abdul Kalam's father told him. How did he convince and which kind of quotes he told. So here APJ Abdul Kalam. So that is an extract from Wings of Fire, the autobiography of APJ Abdul Kalam. So here our sixth unit is completed here. So here we have the map where Rameshwaram and Ramanathapuram is there. So that blue part is there. Okay, so in your homework, you have to complete the first question. Any remaining questions are there, then complete it. And then second question, answer each of this question in a short paragraph, about 30 words. How does the author describe his father, his mother, and himself? So that you have to write down. Okay, so that is your homework and send me on time. Okay, students. So here we are going to end up our today's lecture as well as our sixth unit here. Thank you, my dear all students. Have a nice day.